Welcome everyone, and as golfer we need to be powerful, flexible, mobile and endurant. Anyway, that's a lot of things that we need to get it done. So in today's video we are going to talk about the session that I'm doing at the moment. If you follow me, you know what's the drill. So mainly there is pretty much 3 big lifts that I'm doing throughout the week, and then I'm doing some alternative exercise to work either on power, strength, mobility, flexibility, everything. Anyway, so generally speaking, what I do in each of my session is I start with the big lift, the one that is focused on strength. And today is deadlift and bended bench. Generally, there is kind of the one that is focused on the raw strengths, and then you have kind of the accessory exercise that is much heavier than the normal exercise because I'm using bend or partial range of motion. But first, the deadlift. So and later I will explain to you a little bit about the other exercise. We are going to work on power, flexibility and mobility. Anyway, so deadlift. It's been a while because if you're new, you don't know, but last week I took a week off because I got injured 10 days ago, and so that's the first session where I'm getting back to deadlift. And the idea is not to get too heavy too soon, because normally my max is 200 kg, 4.5 plates, but since I'm getting back to it, I'm just going to go for 190. This week is just a reactivation week, and we've been talking a lot about because that's the last session, the Sunday session of this week, and so that was mainly just about reactivating the body. So, first of all, with the technique on the deadlift, what I found is I'm getting more and more comfortable with this idea of putting my head back and hyperextending my upper back in order for me to be able to just not lift heavy, but just making sure that the whole kinetic chain of my body is ready to fire and is under tension when I'm pulling the bar. So that's why I'm focused much more on kind of activating the chain from the bar, then my arm, then my shoulder, then my upper back, middle back, lower back, legs, and then I go down to the ground. And as I'm activating all of that, slowly the bar gets off the ground, and then once everything is really activated, I just keep on pushing until I get back up. So warm up went well. Then I put on the belt, which I still not feel very comfortable with, to be honest, because this is a 13 millimeters with belt, so this is really thick. So I'm still a little bit uncomfortable, but all of the lifts went super well, and so 180 is really the one where things start getting serious, but it went relatively okay as well. I almost hesitate to kind of do 2 reps, but I figured, you know what, that's just reactivation weight, let's just 1 rep more than enough. But next week we will push 2 reps, because the main structure of my training is going to be more about doing a top set, which is pretty much exactly what you're doing. I'm just going as heavy as I possibly can, just for 1 rep, and then going on to do backup sets. So let's see how the 190 went. Just 10 kg below my best. So that wasn't that easy, but that wasn't horrible either. So what I wanted to say is mainly, then once you do that top set, so next week I'm going to attempt 200, whether or not I succeeded, that's not the point, because what I'm doing after is going to be back-off sets. Back-off set is just you go lower in weight to do more reps and more set. But since the weight is lighter, you get less fatigue out of it while getting a good stimulus. Because when you do 3x3 or 3x4, generally speaking, you still provide good stimulus to gain strength, but this is less tiring than doing 4 or 5 sets at just full max reps. And until now, I didn't really felt the need to do that. But now that I'm start lifting pretty heavy, I start feeling that just doing max reps is so tiring for my body that then I'm not able to recover for the next session. So I need to be smart about how I lift, having a better stimulus to fatigue ratio in order to improve while not causing excessive fatigue. That's something more elite oriented, but I think I can start getting into it, so I need to be careful with that. Anyway, moving on to the second exercise, which is bedded bench. So the goal here is, if you are new, I'm going to explain, is mainly see the strength curve is not this you don't have the same strength at the bottom that you have at the top. And what happens when you're just doing bench or squats is you tend to overtrain the bottom part and undertrain the up part. And that's why in my week of training I have 2 lifts. One for the without the band, which take care of the bottom part of the strength curve, and so that's the normal bench. And then I have the bended bench like this, which take care of the strength at the top, which generally you undertrain with normal bench. That's why doing those 2 exercises in the same week, you do bench 2 times, but kind of different, focusing on different stuff, is very powerful in order to make progress. So I wanted to do my top set at 150 with a wider grip. And normally I should be able to do 160, but as I said, I wanted to kind of go 10 kg below my max that I've been doing before I took my week off after my injury. So that means next week I will be going for it. Anyway, moving on to power exercise. So today is mainly jumping, but here's the deal. Jumping is very strenuous on your tendons and knee, and so doing what I've just did right now is isometric knee extension, allow to really activate those tendons so they are ready to take a hit when you're jumping. So I'm going to be honest, until the beginning of the year I was mainly doing the big lift and so on, so that's pretty much the first week where I'm start adding power exercise, power oriented exercise. So on Tuesday, on Wednesday we did Olympic lift, on Friday we did sprinting, and Sunday is going to be jumping. And so it's just that I have a few exercises in my mind, but I think it's going to take like a month or 2 for me to develop a good routine. And actually this is exactly what I was looking for, because see, at the moment I'm still looking at increasing my strength and not focusing too much on power. But I know that when the focus on power is going to be more important, I will need to have those routines and skill dialed in, because speed and power is highly dependent on technique. And so what I want to do is start practicing those techniques so I get comfortable with them. So when the time comes for me to really work hard on power and speed, I will have the routine in place, I will have the skill in place for me to get the most benefit out of the training. So today was mainly about testing a few different things that I have in mind, and I think as I go through each and every week I will find, okay, I like this exercise and so on. Because here is the deal, jumping workout also has strength, but I'm already doing that. So for me, adding the jumping into my workout is really just about jumping. So I need to kind of find ways to challenge my jumping skill and improve my pretty much my vertical my vertical jump. So anyway, I tried this. Almost this one scared me a little. I thought I was going to fall, but it went okay. I don't know. That's just a few exercises that I tested. I'm going to keep on doing some research until I kind of build a strong routine. Then I wanted to do a little bit of mobility, because same deal. See, I'm a former gymnast, So flexibility has never really been an issue for me at all. But as I'm getting older, as I'm getting stronger as well, my muscle gets stiffer. Even though at the moment I don't have any issue anymore, I'm thinking that might be something I need to start slowly introducing back into my routine, some mobility drill and exercise in order for me to keep staying healthy and flexible and mobile as I'm getting older. Just that it's not because I didn't need it until now that I will never need it. So I tested a few things. This second one was very dangerous. I stopped immediately. But that was mainly about this session. I wanted to kind of try to work on the splits and hips, mainly flexibility. But that's something that a lot of people don't really understand about mobility. Mobility is strength in extreme range of motions. That's why I'm using weights here. The goal is not just to increase my flexibility, is for me to be able to kind of be strong in those extreme range of motion. Because if you just get flexible, then you can really enjoy yourself. Even though I'm not really risking anything, because in golf you don't get into this kind of position. But anyway, that's something you need still to be careful with, because hip mobility is very important in golf. And so you see I did the lateral split, and here you have the kind of the normal kind of front split. And so I wanted to find a way to progressively get lower while also trying to push into the ground, as you will see just right there, like that, where I want to really try to activate my muscle, as I said, while being in an extreme range of motion. And so I'm going to go down and down, and the idea, as I said, the same as the power one speed. This is the first session where I'm actually doing those. So I think week after week I will build up a good routine, and I will share that with you as I'm getting better and better. My goal is pretty much to get a full split, to be honest, to be as flexible as ever been in my life. Pretty much, this is all about that in the gym. It's just getting the best version of myself that I ever been for my entire life. And at the moment, I'm the strongest I've ever been in my life. So if I can also get as powerful as I've ever been in my life, I think I'm slightly less powerful, because when I was doing gymnastics and so on, I was extremely powerful. But yes, in terms of flexibility and so on, might be a slightly less flexible, even though that kind of helped me with my swing, to be honest, to be a little less flexible with my upper body. But the hips mobility, I think, is really important, and that's not something I should be losing. So, but here's the deal: if you're struggling with that, something that really helped me keep a good hip mobility despite getting stronger is doing a banded squat, because with a band you have less weight when you're at the bottom, and so you can really go deep into the squat and then push up really hard. So that's really interesting. So what I was doing here is I was trying to remove one step at a time in order for me to get lower and lower, but still trying to kind of push into the ground in order for me to lift myself while being in those extreme range of motion. But that was pretty much as slow as I could go, as you are going to see just after. That's a big fail. But anyway, that was very interesting and enlightful. I think I'm going on in the right direction, and I'm happy with that. But yeah, just for the fun of it, not even close. So because that's something I want to explain to you with flexibility and mobility, is you don't have to go all the way for it to be useful. You find just a way that is comfortable with you. You practice at that range of motion, and then as the weeks goes on, as you keep practicing it, you will get more and more comfortable with all those extreme range of motion that you're maybe not necessarily comfortable with. So I think I'm going to keep thinking about it, find different exercises that I can do in order to increase, and so maybe that's something that will help you as well. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.